Question of the day: what is your favorite iteration? And confession of the day from me: I have seen very little Star Trek. I respect the brand, I respect the industry. I just haven't seen a whole lot of Star Trek. Yes, I've seen some of the classic movies. I think I saw Star Trek 6 in theaters. I didn't get any of it because I was very young, but I also really enjoyed the Abrams. I know that doesn't make me a purist, but I enjoy the reboots and stuff like that. But it also makes me want to get back into the show based on all the new stuff that's been coming out for it. Which brings us to Star Trek Chrono Trek from Looney Labs. Neat little game all about time traveling and setting the universe right. It expands pretty much across all the different eras of Star Trek. So let's take a look at how this time twisting game works and if it's something you should pick up. Tiny little thing. Love that. Let's look right now. Star Trek Chrono Trek, Journey Through Time. See how this one plays. So this is Star Trek Chrono Trek laid out. No, there's not supposed to be a card missing right here, but I have a 20-month-old who is, I'm pretty sure she has rabies, and she likes to get into these boxes, and when she does, inevitably, a card gets lost. So no, there will be a card that goes there. No, this isn't some sort of thematic thing. But point being, you lay the cards out right there of all the different timeline events that can happen, right? You then will also have, and they're in order, by the way, and it tells you in the bottom, A1 through 9, and all the way down to D1 through 9. But you have these cards over here with all the different characters spanning throughout the entire, several different series and movies and all that sort of stuff of the Star Trek universe. And so you pick one of the characters. Their dots depend on their difficulty of how hard they are to play or satisfy their rewards at the end. But it also, you get that offset somewhat by getting, evil Mr. Spock, by getting different cards and more cards and things like that. But on the bottom, these are what you have. Let me find some easier ones really quick. These are what you have to have done to win the game. So for Cisco here, you'd have to have 2366 with the apostrophe up top. And when that happens, it means that those are turned over. So notice how these have the apostrophe showing. If they have that apostrophe showing, it means that they're flipped to their backside, like you've changed time and had some sort of unfortunate event. So for him to win the game, you would have to have 2366 flipped over, which would be this card right here. It would have to be flipped over, and you do that by playing certain cards in here. We'll show that in a minute. You would have to have 2375, the Dominion Wars end. You would have to have that face up. So currently, 2 of his goals are done right here. And then the third thing is you'd have to have the Orb of Time played in your play area. That's how you win with Benjamin Sisko there. But some of them are a little bit different. Some of them you have to have 2 of these relics or whatever artifacts. Some of them you have to have these fractures, which involve you having multiple things flipped, and then you can put these fractures out there that you play to change completely some time events. And so there's a little push and pull, and a little bit, there's Captain Kirk. His is pretty easy. But there's some push and pull and a little bit of take that going on out there of, hey, I see that this person probably needs this to win, so if I put the fracture out there, it's going to make it a lot harder for them to get the one they need. Anyway, there's a lot of different characters to play as, which means there's a lot of different victory conditions, so should you choose to play them. What you're going to do is, on your turn, you're going to pick a card. Wait. Oh, yes. Nailed it. So on your turn, you're going to draw a card, and you can either choose to play that card for what it is. So this one's an event. It happens automatically. The Devron anomaly expands. So none of these anchor points out there, if these all flip, you lose. Everyone loses unless you're playing as, I believe, Q, who wants everything to end. But anyway, if that event happens, you just keep drawing. So you draw your first card here. This is a power action. It goes into your hand. It's useful to use later. You can either play this now, or you can go ahead and draw a second card and not play anything now. These green cards are artifacts. These are the things that you would put down in front of you, and they're typically victory conditions. There's some assignments that involve those artifacts as well. Just a ton of different things. Action cards, they allow you to kind of manipulate the game, look at other people's cards, switch cards, all sorts of things like that. But the other things, there are these yellow cards. The yellow cards are what allow you to flip over these events out there. So in order to get that event flipped that we need, which was right here, so we want to flip that to the orange side or the back side of the apostrophe, we're going to have some of these cards like this, the temporal rifts or the inverter cards, to flip those over. So I would play an inverter card and I'd pick one of my choice. Now you notice you flip these linchpins, and you flip the linchpin that will affect that event. So what that means is, in order for me, let's just say I want to flip this one. It says flips if 1947 is flipped. So we have to go look up at 1947 over here. I would flip this linchpin. It would cause C1 and C6 to flip. So C1 would flip over, and C6 would also flip over. So when you flip one, it doesn't just affect one. Sometimes it may affect others. Anyway, you're going to keep going like that until someone fulfills their victory condition. Once the victory conditions are flipped, and once you have all the victory conditions, you win. There's a slight pause where if you have a card that allows you to shut down someone's victory, you do have to allow them to play that. Other than that, pretty simple game. That's it. So that's Chrono Track. Pretty basic mechanics, right? I mean, you have 3 goals, or really depending on your character, but for the most part, you have 3 goals you're trying to achieve. This card needs to be flipped up, this card needs to be flipped face down, and you need to have this relic in play, artifact in play. That's it. And the interesting thing about this is the push and pull from going, okay, if I flip this card now, will they think I'm flipping it just because, or will they allow me to keep it flipped because they think I'm trying to bluff them, right? So there is a little bit of push and pull in those mechanics of hopefully, maybe, is he bluffing? Is that the artifact he wants? Why is he looking over here at my cards? Why does he keep calling for this artifact, right? And maybe you're just using a card just to use a card, right? But there is some neat mechanics there. I do find, though, at the end of the day, this game just kind of becomes, okay, well, I need these 3 things and I'm done. Now, it's weird because I wanted to really like this game. I wanted it to be a lot more kind of backstabby almost, or push and pull, or even take that. And I hate take that games typically, but I kind of wanted more of that feeling from this game, and I just didn't get it. It felt kind of flat, like it just landed on the table and it was like, oh, well, you're probably clearly going for that, but I really would rather just go after my own goal instead of trying to mess you up, because I can probably win 2 turns faster than you can anyway. So it's got a little bit of gamesmanship, but it's just nothing for me to get excited about unless you're a really big fan of Star Trek. Then obviously this is a no-brainer. You add it to your collection, not just for the name, but it is a neat game. It's just not something I'm going to play all the time, which kind of puts it right middle of the road for me. You know, basically a 5, 5.5, because it's not a bad game, but it's not a good game either. It's not something I'm just going to go be excited to play, right? There's not enough push and pull. There's not enough deception. There's not enough trying to figure out, where is this player going? It just kind of fell flat in our group. So that is Star Trek Chrono Track. Not a ton to it, but maybe this is for you if you're a big Star Trek fan. Otherwise, you can pass on this and check out some of the other great Star Trek products that are out there. I'm Bryan Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and at Dice Tower Bryan. And make sure to watch all the videos. If you enjoy the video reviews that we do, down here is a playlist for all the videos that we do on the Dice Tower, as well as we're doing a painting segment on Board Game Breakfast now called Yes, You Can Paint. All about beginning painting techniques to elevate your painting game, taking you from that fear of I can't paint to, oh, absolutely you can paint. So hope you enjoy that. Be doing more reviews on here on the Dice Tower. If we saw you on the cruise, thanks for saying hello. We had a blast getting to perform some magic illusions, all that sort of stuff with you guys, and play some games. So, till next time, we'll see you.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower.